Hi everybody! Today I want to show you a little makeup tutorial and also swatches. Makeup Revolution came out with this new collection called the Crystal, and I got the green palette from them. It's this one, the Aventurine palette. The cover is very simple with just some stone pattern, and it looks a little bit bluish, but it has some green in it too. And the colors are very pretty. A lot of green tones here, and very different too. I like that they have some kind of warmer tone greens and also some more cooler tones like these three here, so that's fun. And I think I'll do a little bit of a look with mostly just the green colors today, not so much neutral ones. Maybe I'll do another look with those, but I really think this palette looks interesting and I wanted to buy it because I don't have that many green colors, so thought it would just be fun to try out. I really like the look of the other ones too, the pink and the purple one, but I decided to get this green one because I have enough of pinks and purples from before. And I think I'll just start with the look now. I think I want to start with this kind of shade called Creativity, which is this kind of warmer toned green. It has a little bit of olive tone, and I'll just pick that up on this simple blending brush here. It's cool because some of the shades have this crystal imprint on them, as you can see maybe, and I really think that's a nice little touch. So I'll just start with that shade. And I have nothing on my eyes now. I just did my face makeup and I put a little bit on concealer on my eyes. Just a very thin layer. And then I'll just start to blend this in here in the crease. And I can zoom you guys in a little bit. I think it seems like a pretty nice pigmented shade. And the color is true to pan, so that's very nice. Sometimes these green tones kind of looks different on my skin than in the pan. So I'm just blending it almost up to the brow bone. I think green looks are really pretty, green eyeshadow looks. I don't know why I don't wear them more often, maybe because I'm a little bit intimidated, but I want to try to wear them more often because I really think green is a beautiful color and very like fresh color, and I think it kind of suits me too, maybe because I have kind of olive tone in my skin, so that might be why, but I think it's nice. It's flattering for many people. I also think it's very flattering for people who have hazel eyes. I bought two other Revolution palettes too recently, or not so long ago. It was one neutral palette, and I think that was from Game of Thrones, the Raven palette. And I also bought another one that was, I can have a look and see. It was more of a pinky, cool tone, purpley one. It's called Nude Silk. So I want to show you those two. I hope you like watching these videos with my Revolution palettes, the Forever Flavless collection I have. I love collecting them. And also I have a lot from Revolution too, which is kind of the same brand, but I think it's kind of a sister brand. So now I blended that shade pretty well into my crease and high up. And now I want to go in with a little bit of a deeper shade. And for that, I think I'll use the shade called Suits, which is this darker green here. And I'll use this little bit of a smaller brush and just tap a little bit up, and then I'll go in with that color in the outer corner. Looks pretty pigmented and nice. It's a very pretty color. So I'm sorry that I haven't been able to upload for some months. I recently just put out some new videos, but before that I had a long break, and that's because of some personal things that happened. And I want to tell the ones who follow me on my channel, I want to like explain a little bit why. And that is because my father passed away this summer, and it was very sad to me and my family, and I just had to take a break of things. And yeah, it was very tough, so I didn't feel very motivated to do YouTube or anything really. It just feels kind of unreal, and so that's basically why I had a long break from YouTube. But I will try to upload more often now, and just keep it a little more like regularly that I upload things. Sorry about my English again. So I just wanted to tell you about that. I'm still quite sad about it, of course, but I feel a little bit lighter now. I've just tried to keep myself very busy with when I had the energy, I just felt like I needed to get out of my apartment and just be with friends and family as much as I could, and it has helped a little bit to like process things. And now it feels a little bit easier, thankfully, even though it's still hard to believe, of course. Back to the eyeshadow look. I think this color is very nice, this deeper one. It really deepens up a lot, as you can see, so that's great. I think the quality of these Forever Flawless palettes keeps improving very much, so I'm really happy about that because I really love to collect them, as I said. I'll put a little bit more of that lighter green shade afterwards. I just want to blend this very neatly. And take a little bit more, as I said, of the light green one called Creativity, and just blend that a little bit more in. I'm really happy that they put a shade like this in the palette, because I've seen the other green palettes, some of the, I think it was the chilled palette. So my camera died, but I was just saying about the chilled palette. They also have a lot of nice green colors, but I felt like those were a lot more like cool tone greens. While this one has a really warm tone greens, so that you can kind of choose what way you want to go with the look, and I think that's really nice. So I think I'm done blending those two in with each other now. I'm just going to take a little bit of that light green color and also put it underneath the lash line here. Just a little bit of it. I'll also take a little bit of the darker green and then go a little bit on the very outer edge here and drag it a little bit out to create this wing. And I'll take a little bit of a bigger fluffy brush and I'll just put a little bit of the light green again on that one, and I'll just go over it and blend it in. And then I think I'm going to use a little bit of a dark shimmer just in the edges or on the outer part of the eyelids. And for that I'm going to use this more packing brush, more of a packing brush, and it has kind of this slanted shape, and it's very nice for packing on shimmers. It's from Makeup Mecca. It's just a Norwegian brand, and they have a lot of cheap and nice makeup and brushes that are good quality, so that's great. But I'll just go in with that color Good Habits. It's this darker green, and just to not get fallout or anything, I'm going to spray it as usual with some water. And then I'm going to pack that on the outer edge of my eyelid, as I said. It's a very nice color and it blends in perfectly with the darker green matte. And then I'm going to use a lighter green shimmer shade on my lid, and for that I'm going to use this color called Leadership, this one. I'll use the same brush, just take the other side of the brush and pick that up and spray it with water again. This is going straight on my lid, as you can see. This one also blends very nicely into the darker shades. Like that. And now I'm going to go into a little bit of a gold shade. For that I'll use the shade called Opportunity, this one, and also mix it a little bit with this shade called Luck here, so these two, and put that one with the smaller brush in the very inner corner. I think I actually want it a little bit warmer, so I'm going to take more of the Opportunity shade. I do think golds and greens go very nicely together. And for the inner corners and to top off on the lid, I'm going to use this color called Wealth, which is this kind of interesting blue-green color. It also has a little bit of gold specks in it. And I'll use that on the same brush I used before, this one. It looks more shimmery than the other shimmer shades. And then I put that on the lid here. Can't see a very big difference, but maybe a little bit. I think maybe I'll try to use that alone, just in the lower lash line, in the inner lower lash line. Just clean up my brush, and then I'll use that alone so you can see it by itself. I'll just put that here. This is a very nice shade, very shimmery. So you can see this is more of a cool tone green, the shimmery one. It has a lot of sparkle. And then I think I'm done with most of the eyeshadow look, but I just want to put a little bit of a shimmer in the very inner corner here and under the brow bone. And for that I'm going to go into the shade Luck, the shimmery kind of, it's almost like a skin color, but it has a little bit of gold, more of a champagne maybe. And I'll use that in the very inner corners here and drag it up like I always do, and a little bit under the brow bone here. Not a very intense color, but it's very nice to use for this purpose. And then I think I'm done with the eyeshadow look, and I think these greens are very pretty. About the layering of these shadows, I think it was a little bit difficult to get the gold over the greens, but that may be because I have added so much of the previous color so that it wouldn't stick properly. So I think I'm done with the eyeshadow look now. I'll show you swatches too, but first I want to do my eyeliner and put on a little bit more mascara. And of course do my lipstick. Like I said, I already did my skin and my blush and all things like that. So I'll just put on my liner now. And for that I'm going to use this, just this brown liner from Makeup Mecca. It's a dark brown one. And this is very natural and nice, and I don't want to take away from these eyeshadows, so I just decided to do a little bit of a brown wing today. It's not a super dark color, but it just enhances the lash line a little bit. Browns and greens, they always go together, so I think it was a nice opportunity to use this brown liner too. And then I'll just put on a little bit more mascara, and for that I'm going in with the Hypnose Drama. It's just a little mini mascara from Lancome. Has this oddly shaped brush, but I'll just use a little bit of that. I already put a little bit on of this, so I just want to have a second layer, or do a second layer, because you know when you put eyeshadows and all that, it kind of falls on the lashes and it takes away some of the darkness. I don't know what I feel about this one. It's kind of okay, I guess. But it does the job. To be honest, I think that many drugstore mascaras work exactly the same as high-end ones, so I don't think you need to go out and spend a lot of money on mascaras if you're not very particular. But I do like one from MAC that is my favorite. That is the, I think it was Extra Dimension, or I don't exactly remember the name. When I buy them I always look just at the shape, because it has this kind of strange shape where it goes like bowling, this kind of bowling thing. I don't know how to explain it in English, but I think you know what I mean if you saw the MAC mascaras. So I've already done my brows too, so I'm done with the eyes now, I think. I love these green colors. And now I'll do my lips. And I'm going to use a new lip liner. It's from NYX. And it is in the shade Nutmeg. It is actually very similar to my lip color. So I can't really see a lot, but a little bit of a difference. It's just a little bit darker and more of a brownie tone. So I like to overline my lips a little bit. But not much at all, just make them a little bit more even and a little bit more pouty. Also, my lips are a little bit downturned. So I try to, when I put my lip liner, I like to drag it a little bit up here. A little bit over my natural lip line. So it looks like my lips are a little bit more upturned. So you can see this just makes my lips a little bit bigger. And I don't look as downturned as before, at least not in my opinion. And I really like this shade of lip liner. It was on sale and I just thought why not, because I don't have any like really browny lip liners like this and I really like the color. It was called Nutmeg, as I said. And it's perfect for fall, I think. And so now I'm going to go into a lipstick. This is a little bit of a lighter shade, but I thought it would go nicely with this lip liner. And it's from Revolution. It has this matte packaging, which feels very nice and looks stylish. And it's this color. It's called Divine Brown. I've already used it before and I think it's a nice color. My lips are very dry as always, so excuse that. Flaky dry. I don't know what to do about it. I think I've tried about every lip balm and lip mask and all of that, but it doesn't help. Anyway, this is the lipstick on. It's a very neutrally or maybe a little bit of yellow tone. And I think it looks very nice over this lip liner. And it also suits this look, I think. So that was this look using this Forever Flavless Aventurine palette. And I'll do more looks with these kind of Revolution Forever Flavless palettes because I have some new ones, as I told you before. And I really hope you like these kind of videos where I show you my collection palettes and just try them out for you. If you like my videos, please hit a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye! So now I'll start with the swatches of this palette. And I'll just start with this shimmery shade called Prosperity. Just a light shimmer champagne. I'll build it up a little bit. It's mostly just shimmer, not so much color. And then I'm going to go into this matte color called Enthusiasm. That's the shade. It's a more cool toned kind of green color. I'm going to go into the shade Leadership. It's shimmer again. By the way, I noticed now that all the matte shades has this kind of imprint on them. This is a pretty nice shimmer. A little bit minty kind of color. And then I'll swatch this shade called Perseverance. I don't know what that means, but you can see the color here. It's also more of a cool toned kind of green. I noticed that the dark green shade stained my hand a little bit, so I just wanted to let you know that. Then I'll go into the shade Comfort, which is this kind of deeper gold or copper shade. I think it's the deeper gold, kind of antique goldy shade. And I'll swatch that here. Has a little bit of, I feel like it has a little bit of olive undertone. And then I'll go into this matte shade, warm brown matte shade, and it's called Stabilize. This it has kind of a very warm, a little bit of a mustardy undertone. And then onto the next row, and the color Achieve, just this dark browny gold type of shade, or dark brown, I guess. Or maybe you could say it's copper. It has a little bit of a red tone to it. Also very pretty. And then I'll go into the shade Golds, which is this lighter kind of nude shade. Probably good for blending out shadows. And then I'll go into this exciting shade called Wealth. It looks very pretty and shimmery. Very nice color. Very pretty. A little bit cool toned. And then I'll go into the shade Luck, which is this kind of light champagne. Swatches very nicely. I'll go into this color called Creativity, which is kind of a warmer or yellow toned green. Here. Very nice shade to make this kind of green looks a little bit more warm toned. And then we're into this more of a darker kind of grungy brown color called Health. And it's a dark like green color, green or brown. It's a little bit in between. And then we're on to the next row, and the color Power, which is kind of a reddy coppery shade. Oh, very nicely pigmented. Very nice color. And then we have this shade called Good Habits, which is a dark green. Also very pretty, lovely color. I love this kind of deeper green color. And it's not too cool either. And then we have this darker green color, it's matte, and it's great for deepening up in the crease or outer corners. I've already used this palette now, so I know how the colors perform, and I think this one was really pigmented and nice on the eyes. It doesn't swatch as good as it is in real life, I think. But you can see the color a little bit. And then I'm going to go into this Harmony shade. It's a dark, kind of grungy brown. I think these mattes are best used on the eyes, not so great when I swatch them, but they're better on the eyes. So that's that color. And then I'm going to go into this Opportunity shade, which is the light gold color. It's a pretty gold color. And then the last shade is called Success, and it's a little bit of a deeper gold. It looks quite shimmery, shiny. Very pretty color too. Swatch is great. Feels very like smooth.